Hey YouTube, it's JP Dillon. We're going to dive back into that Sony tc-wr820 because this guy here was nice enough to get me some pinch rollers for it. And from what I've read, he's pretty good with these things. He's good at making these new replacement pinch rollers. So given the problems the deck has had and that they're largely responsible from the pinch rollers, we're going to see if replacing the pinch rollers brings the wow and flutter and stability back enough into spec to where I think it's worth the time to mess with and maybe get some good performance out of it. So let's pop these in really quick and see if it makes a difference or not. So just taking a quick look at them, you can see that there's a new plastic hub. The pinch roller surface is pretty excellent. Got that just a little tiny bit of taper it needs. Rubber's brand spanking new. They're nice and soft too. They're not hard or slick or anything. Looks like quality stuff. But I guess the telltale sign is what does it do when I put it in the machine? Alright, so here they are installed in the deck. We see our A deck here and our B deck there. And I'm going to hope and pray that this makes it so that the thing works worth a damn now. Got it wired up to the wow and flutter meter. And so let's get a test tape and see what it looks like. Okay. Here's left deck. Speed's a little off. The wow and flutter is right where it should be. That's 0.125. That's pretty good. The spec is 0.15, so 0.125 is very good. Let's switch directions. Equal on both sides there. 0.125 on that side. That's good. Makes me happy. We do have to reset the speed though. Let's go for the right deck. And the heads come down. So we got to pull that out and fix that again. Come on. Trying to see what happened there. Maybe it's stuck. This transport has to come out again. Oh yeah, got pushed down past that, so I'm just going to have to create a new ledge with JB Weld or something and shape it. And it keeps resetting itself too. See that? Falls down. Alright. So we'll reset that. And we come back up here. Wow and flutter's a little bit better on this side, which tells you that the capstan is in better shape. But even if we go up on a, or maybe I'm just not getting any signal here. Yeah, if we go down on the scale, 0.09, that's pretty good. 0.09, let's yeah. So this is coming out again. Let's see how good we are there. Again, about 0.08, 0.09. So the pinch rollers definitely did it, for sure. The pinch rollers were definitely the cause of the crummy wow and flutter. However, we need to reset the speed on this guy, and we need to yank this guy out again and fix the ledge. So out it comes again. Alright, so I came back to this thing and I discovered that I had not properly set the pin when I did this the first time, and so as a result the pin wasn't fully coming out enough to hit the bottom of the head block there like it's doing now. I also augmented that pin with a little bit of quick set JB weld, let it set up, and so that should be the end of that. You can't just put a big blob of glue there, because that is also a release to let the head down and take the heads off if you need to get to the underside of the reverse mechanism. So you can't just really attack it and put a bunch of glue in there. I mean, unless you never want it to be a release, an auto reverse deck, or never need to take the heads off. So hopefully that's that. I'm going to run this through a bunch of reverse cycles after the initial setups and things. But that's not going to be a problem, I don't think, for a long time. And it should stay that way. Alright, so we got the deck back in there. I re-cleaned the capstans on both decks. And so now all that's left to do is to reset the speed and to check the wow and flutter again. Now on these decks, because of the Dolby board in the way, setting the speed on them is just an absolute terrible nightmare. But I do have some long reach tools that are small and slender, and we should be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the wow and flutter tape in. And actually cleaning the, let me show you here, actually cleaning the capstans brought the speed down on this deck. It's almost perfect. And then if we switch directions, yeah, same thing. So there must have been some sort of accumulation of crud that got onto the capstans or something. So let's go back and check our wow and flutter again. It's actually hovering between 0.09 and 0.1. So if we go back to our scale, so that's pretty good. And let's go to the right side deck. This deck is still does whatever it wants on occasion. So like if you hit forward, it'll go to reverse sometimes, other times it'll go to forward. That deck is nice and happy now. Yeah, wow and flutter on this one. Kicked it down to about 0.08. That's pretty cool. And if we reverse it, let's see. What sort of trickery is this? Forward direction's cool. Reverse direction's cool. This thing's got a mind of its own. And we're still kicking around 0.08 there. So that's good. Let's go to our speed. Speed's pretty damn close, 0.5%. I don't think I'm going to mess with that. But yeah, so far. So the pinch rollers were definitely the cause of the wow and flutter problems for sure. This thing is within spec now and perhaps a little bit better. At least the right deck's better. The left deck is probably never going to get below 0.1. I don't know if you can see that here. I can rotate the capstan a little bit. I don't think I can. Well, anyway, there was some deformation of the metal on the capstans, and that could have been a result of leaving oxide there for a long time. It could have been a result of other problems with the using the crusty old pinch rollers. One thing I find, which is very interesting, is that if you use a deck with hardened pinch rollers for a long time, the pinch rollers will actually abrade little bits of metal away from the capstan, and you will distort the capstan. So that may have been what happened here, since the left deck has like uber higher hours than the right. Let me just reverse this here again. This thing seems to be doing whatever it wants today. I'm going to cycle this deck particularly through all of its forward and reverse and fast wind and all that, because it's been the biggest pain, and I want to make sure that before it goes back to the owner that it's not going to create a big headache for him. Not that this deck hasn't been a headache already. But going inside here, just taking a look at these rollers. The rollers are just really nice. Nice and flat. We got good wow and flutter. So, yeah. So definitely look that guy up. Mirko, I believe his name was. And he can probably find you some, or get you some pinch rollers for your deck. That certainly did it for this one. And let's just cycle this again, just because. Let's fast wind it. Fast wind it here. Alright. Reverse play. Yep. Forward play. So far, so good. So I'm going to do that a bunch more times and just let it play some tapes for the week. And if everything is copacetic after that, then it'll get boxed back up and shipped back to the guy. I think he's going to be happy with it. Let me get some music here for the briefest of moments, and then we can listen to it on actual music, because before it was kind of sad. So let's do that here real quick. Alright, so because of copyright Nazis, I'm probably only going to be able to do this for a couple seconds. Okay, so I noticed that the alignment there is a little bit crummy, so I'll double check that for a moment. In the reverse direction, how does this sound? Much better. So, yeah, much better. I'm just going to tweak the alignment on the reverse a little bit. Much better. Okay, so I put Loctite on all the alignment screws, and I think I'm going to box this one back up and just put it through its paces and just play some tapes on it. I mean, I get to enjoy it before it goes back. I've worked hard enough on it, that's for sure. So to sum up, without the pinch rollers, this would have not been possible to service to a point of fidelity, which we've now achieved because of the stable wow and flutter. This was a real nightmare of a machine. I'm glad it seems to be finally done. I'm just going to keep beating it and running it through its paces to make sure that it's reliable before it goes back. But if it passes all the tests, then he should get many years out of it. And it's definitely going to be better to play it than not to play it. So the key here is dogged persistence, the correct replacement parts. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this series. This has been an ultra pain, but the outcome is worth it. So, yeah. When I get more time, we'll dive back into the Toshiba set. Otherwise, other stuff to come soon, too. Thanks for watching.